Welcome to Forecasting with Friends on a Friday. We have made it to the weekend. Well, almost. Probably you're watching, maybe you're not done with your shift yet. Maybe you still have a few things to get planned, but hey, it's going to be a really nice one. You know, being on the west side of hurricanes obviously is a stark difference from being on the east side. And so, you know, this storm did just pass to our east, but, you know, we had Beryl at the beginning of this year, and we're still not out of the woods yet. So just preface saying, hey, maybe you've dug into some of your hurricane snacks, or, you know, you've taken batteries out of your hurricane gear kit. Just try to reload them. I would say it's always best to do so ahead of time, and then you can always use it at the end of the season if not. So nothing's brewing in the Gulf, which is great news, but I just kind of want to go over what Francine left behind. So coastal Louisiana communities are continuing to clean up after Francine pummeled the region on Wednesday. Francine did make landfall, as we know, as that Category 2 hurricane. At the storm's peak, nearly 500,000 people in Louisiana were completely without power. And, you know, our hearts go out to them. We know exactly what that feels like. The good news is no reports of injuries or death, but some homes were damaged from the strong winds or toppled trees and probably even toppled power lines. Now get this, here's some stats for you. It's the third hurricane to hit the U.S. this year so far. Now, so far this year, there's only been 4 hurricanes, and all 3 of those to hit the U.S. have been along the Gulf Coast. So it has been a very busy season in the Gulf. You know, we're kind of in this transition. We were in El Nino. Now we're kind of in this middle phase and likely transitioning to La Nina. Now, we thought that it was going to happen maybe a little bit sooner than it will be. But with that being said, there is just so much hot air over the Gulf, i.e. warm waters in the Gulf. And we're not really in front season yet. Yes, we got one, cooled us down for a little bit, but basically anything that has entered into the Gulf, there's been nothing to stop it. So that's why we've been seeing, you know, a lot of action. We talk about all the real estate that once the storm moves in, there's still a lot of warm waters that it could continue to strengthen. So, you know, it did hit that Category 2 strength as a hurricane. So, but we mentioned 4 hurricanes, but 6 named storms in total. But I want to take you out to our graphics because we do have some breaking weather news. Tropical Storm Gordon has formed in the central Atlantic. So that happened about an hour ago. We were waiting all morning long. I'm saying, hey, you know, it's Tropical Depression 7, but probably future Gordon, and here we go. 40-mile-per-hour maximum sustained winds. Now the thing with this is, okay, so you can see the little storm icon there as it trudges west, but then you see the little D icon. So what's happening with this is that Gordon is already moving into some Saharan dust. It's not super thick, but it's there. So that's why I think we're going to be seeing not much strengthening, actually a little bit of weakening, but then it has the potential to get out of the plume of dust. So then we could be seeing some re-strengthening after that. Again, that's looking like it would re-strengthen to a tropical storm sometime Tuesday morning. So there's still a lot of time. You know, is that dust going to get into it and it's going to say, nope, you have no chance of re-strengthening? You know, these are questions that will be answered in the days to come. But I just wanted to bring you guys that update. Now let's talk football, because this is my new thing now on Fridays. We're going to do Football Friday forecast, and I just have to start with the Texans. I know that's on Sunday. We have much more football between now and then, but guys, the Bears are coming to town, and we got to beat them, right? NRG Stadium, Sunday night football, 7:20 p.m. See you there. Now, if you are going to be there tailgating, I know that you need to wear your Liberty white, so keep that in mind. It's going to be warm, so good thing to wear light-colored, loose-fitting clothes. No, we're not seeing any heat advisories or anything like that, but we do know that it is going to be hot and humid. Now, yes, you're going to be inside for the game. I think there's still one roof panel missing, so if you just happen to be sitting under that, well, I guess the sun will be down at 7 o'clock, so okay, sorry, rephrase, you don't need to worry about that, but not really cooling down at all for the end of the game. Similar story for tonight, Friday Night Lights, baby. High schools across Southeast Texas getting ready for games, and it's going to be warm. So make sure your kiddos are playing in the game, that they're staying hydrated. You know that there's water stations everywhere on the field. But also if you're going to be in the stands. Now we have a lot of college football games. I want to start with Rice U of H. That's going to be a good one. And I don't know if you were on the after show with us, but Nate and Denise have a big rivalry with that. And so if one school wins over the other, then one of them has to wear the opposite school's colors. So just stick with us next week. We'll see how the game goes and see who is wearing the opponent's colors. I actually had to do that because if you remember last week, I went to the Michigan-Texas game. Husband's a big Texas fan. Me, my brother, my dad, big Michigan fans, and made a bet with somebody here. So I will be baking cookies next week in honor of Texas winning and Michigan losing. So Juan is in the control room listening. You'll be getting cookies next Wednesday. I got an awesome. Okay, we'll see. I might do the kind for my cookbook. Anyway, back to football. Speaking of UT, UTSA is going to be in Austin, and it's going to be hot. Thankfully, it's an evening game, but still. Texas A&M's going to Florida. Chance for some thunderstorms out there. It's an afternoon game. You know, I used to live in Florida, and Gainesville is part of my viewing area. It's just this time of year you get the afternoon thunderstorms. So, you know, hopefully nothing severe, and if anything, and move out quickly. Then we have LCU taking on HCU at home. Kickoff tomorrow, 6 p.m. So going to be another round of the warm temps. Prairie View A&M at Michigan State in Michigan. So weather's going to be really, really nice for them, especially an afternoon game in the fall. And then Hawaii is coming to Huntsville, baby, taking on Sam Houston. Clear skies, and boy, is it going to be warm. So hope you guys are ready for some football. The action's going to be great. We are very excited about it. And Juan, do we have Brandy? Nope. Okay. So we might be getting another friend. I think she's actually doing some live shots with other stations. So we're going to try our best to get her. But wanted to let you guys know, maybe you aren't going to be watching this type of football. Maybe you're going to be watching some football. If you can't wait until the Texas home opener, you can celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month with the Houston Dynamo. They are playing Real Salt Lake on Saturday. And the pre-match festivities will be outside Shell Energy Stadium. Such things as cultural displays, live music, and food trucks. Okay, sign me up. That's all you had to say. And if you get to the game early, you can score some sweet swag. They'll be giving away limited edition sugar skulls. Okay, that is really cool. Put it on the collection. I know everybody has an office, a great place to go. Well, I do want to transition to some harder weather news. That it's a race against time and conditions as crews in Southern California try and bolster containment for at least 3 substantial wildfires. Hey, it's that type of season. The flames are actually creeping closer to thousands of structures, causing injuries and sending residents running. Fox News correspondent Chanley Painter reports on the latest.
The Golden State still under siege from several destructive wildfires tearing through Southern California. While the arrival of some cooler weather has given firefighters a slight edge, bone-dry conditions continue providing the perfect fuel to feed the hungry flames.
There's so much combustibles.
So far, the airport fire has injured at least a dozen people, with the inferno charring more than 20,000 acres as of Thursday in Orange and Riverside counties.
It's devastating.
As some residents return to damaged properties covered in ash, embers from the blaze are helping the fire to continue spreading. This footage captures the dramatic efforts crews went through to save horses as their barn went up in flames. Meanwhile, the line fire has been raging for more than a week now.
About 73,000 complete structures have been threatened by this fire.
Police have arrested a 34-year-old suspect they allege started the blaze, which has engulfed more than 37,000 acres in San Bernardino County as of Thursday. Officials are also protecting the homes of evacuees from looters.
If you're going to be an opportunist in San Bernardino County and we catch you, you are going to jail.
But concerns are really growing over the bridge fire, the largest of the blazes at more than 51,000 acres. Containment as of Thursday was at 0%. More than 24 homes have been destroyed. California's wildfire season typically lasts until November. Officials say residents in fire-prone areas should have an emergency pack ready in case evacuation orders grow. I'm Chanley Painter, Fox News.
Thank you so much, Chanley. Well, first responders in the Austin area are adding AI to their tool belt to help increase fire response times. Austin Energy and the fire department are partnering together on this project. We're told Pano AI systems will be used to better protect people and their properties from fires. One woman recalls an incident last summer in which she believes would have had a different outcome if they had this technology available at the time.
A lot of people called 911. And would report its location more or less based on where they guessed it was happening, but nobody had an exact address. Now, if they had had this technology, there would have been no delay, and they could have battled it faster.
And through the use of this technology, first responders say they are hopeful that this will assist in protecting the community. Now, going from wildfires to the tropics, a new survey says that more than a quarter of Americans aren't financially prepared for extreme weather events like hurricanes. Bankrate surveyed nearly 1,300 homeowners back in July. It found 26% wouldn't be able to deal with storm-related costs. Broken down further, 29% of that number live in the South. 15% of the residents are also told Bankrate that they would have to go into debt to pay their deductible if the home is damaged. And 7% say they don't even have homeowners insurance. So, you know, not good to hear, and it's difficult because we realize that, you know, these insurance prices have risen so much. I mean, Mike and I were just talking about it, you know, offset yesterday, and just to see from a few years ago just how high the numbers have jumped. But, you know, just this year alone, flooding, derecho, Beryl, I mean, we've had a lot. So just something to think about. You know, hopefully you can create at least a little bit of a nest egg just to help you out. Well, you guys, we are going to go to a quick break, and then it's Friday. And of course, I can't leave you guys without a dog story, and this one's super cute. Stick with us. Okay, folks, we're approaching our second summer here in Southeast Texas, but here's a look at some dogs enjoying an end of summer pool party. Okay, we could just leave this for the rest of the show. I'll watch them. They're so cute. So this is in Las Vegas. Clark County Parks and Recreation Department does this every year before the pool gets drained, cleaned, and shut down for the fall. So it gives the dogs time and to hang out. You know, they watch their humans swim all the time, but no. They want to do it. Oh my goodness. The tennis balls, look at all of them jumping in. And then there's always one on the edge that's like, nah, I'm good. Oh, and he just fell in. Jump off the diving board. Ooh, down the slide. I don't know why they sped up this video, guys, but I think they just want you to see how many dogs got to enjoy the last days of summer. Well, love to see those cutie pies. My dog does not like to swim, so I really wish he did. Well, I do want to talk about something amazing that happened yesterday. And if you joined us on Wake Up and Houston's Morning Show, you probably got to see a little bit of what happened, but we watched history in space. It was the world's first commercial spacewalk, and our very own Sally Mack has the video that you don't want to miss.
We've seen spacewalks plenty of times before, but we are talking about for private citizens. SpaceX says what Polaris Dawn showed today is that these very risky missions can be carried out by the private sector and not just government astronauts. So do you think you have a good view at your office or at home? Check out this view. This puts all of our views to shame. This is video of the spectacular view and video of the spacewalk. They did not actually walk around. Two of the four, including tech billionaire Jared Isaacman, poked their heads out of the hatch. They always kept a hand on the ladder. They were checking there, as you see his hand moving up and down, they were checking the mobility of the spacesuits. So they were checking the right side, they were checking the left side. This is video from the helmet cam worn by Isaacman as he climbed out of the hatch. Now the walk outside lasted about 20 minutes for both Isaacman and Sarah Gillis. This is what Isaacman said upon seeing our world.
SpaceX, back at home we all have a lot of work to do, but from here, Earth sure looks like a perfect world.
If it was hard to make out, he said, back at home, we all have a lot of work to do, but from here, Earth sure looks like a perfect world. SpaceX hopes Polaris Dawn will serve as a stepping stone toward landing back on the moon and eventually Mars. And if you're wondering, how does NASA feel about this, about a private spacewalk? They're technically not calling it a spacewalk, but the NASA administrator did congratulate SpaceX on X. He said that today's success represents a giant leap forward for the commercial space industry and NASA's long-term goal to build a vibrant U.S. space economy.
Cool. Thank you for that, Sally Mack. Well, summer is coming to a close and soon fall will be here. And soon, too, well, those autumn allergies. The Fox Medical team's Dina Centofanti gets you ready for the changing of the seasons.
In HealthWorks, if you are feeling just a little bit off, the ragweed might be to blame. The pollen, it's yellow, powdery, it's dusty. It can trigger all kinds of annoying allergic reactions. The key is being ready to fight back.
No doubt, as we inch closer to the end of summer, fall allergy season is gearing up. That means many people will soon be reaching for the tissues.
Labor Day is about the time when fall allergies start. So when kids start going back to school, that's when you'll start to notice more of those allergy symptoms of itchy eyes, stuffy nose, drippy nose, lots of sneezing.
To help with your symptoms this fall, allergist Sandra Hong with Cleveland Clinic says it's important to keep allergens out of your home. You can do this by shutting the windows, and remember, take a shower after going outdoors. Don't let your pets inside the bedroom either, since they can carry pollen on their fur. Now, when it comes to medication, the doctor says nasal steroids are a good go-to option for relief, as well as antihistamines for symptoms like itchiness and sneezing. If fall allergies are still stopping you from enjoying the season, it might be time to see an allergist.
Allergies can make people feel really miserable. It can really decrease people's quality of life. Kind of knowing what you're allergic to can be really helpful for us so that you can actually prevent those symptoms from happening.
We can't just blame ragweed, although that is the major culprit when it comes to fall allergies. There's other stuff out there. The doctor says an allergist might help identify what you are allergic to specifically and then find some other treatment options. If the over-the-counter stuff is not working, there's always allergy shots. That's HealthWorks. I'm Dina Centofanti.
Thank you so much, Dina. I feel like I'm in that boat. It's weird. I don't like sneeze a lot, but the corners of my eyes will start watering, and you know, we have to wear a lot of makeup. And so by the end, my winged eyeliner is no longer winged. It's just not there. Anyway, well, I hope you guys are having, great Friday. We have some pretty nice weather this weekend. I mean, it's going to be warm, but at least dry, right? Well, I'll have more details on your full weekend forecast, but I want to dig into the tropics a little bit more because there are some areas that we're watching. Again, nothing in the Gulf of Mexico, which is good news for us here in Southeast Texas, but some other areas that could be getting some rain. And where are the remnants of Francine? That's all coming up after the break. Hello, friends. Welcome back to Forecasting with Friends on a Friday. Okay, remember I asked you the question, where is Francine now, or what's left of it? And this is remnants of. Now, it's overlaid with the visible satellite. That's why the clouds are really low here, and then picking up, it's when the sun moves in that you're actually able to see them. But I do want to mention that we're still seeing some rain from Kansas City to St. Louis and then extending all the way out to the East Coast. But you can see exactly where Francine has been because everything on the south and west side is completely dry and completely clear. We were on the clean side of the storm, so we didn't see much. But folks that live in portions of Alabama and even into Georgia and up into Tennessee and beyond could be seeing some lingering flood threat just because the aftermath of these storms, and even though they're not technically, the name storm anymore, post-tropical cyclone, as you'll hear folks say, it can still drop some rain and be impactful. So we're keeping an eye out on that. But let's talk about what we're going to see in our skies. The good news is not much. A lot of sunshine expected. Coming in this evening, though, thick veil of clouds. And it looks like this just updated, different from what I was seeing on the models earlier. But it could be pretty cloudy to start your Saturday morning, but then the sun will be coming back out. Take a look at that. Gorgeous. This is one of our new cameras and I love to show it. You know, a different view. Traffic actually not too bad on a Friday, which is kind of crazy, but it's not even lunchtime and there we go. Mid 80s. I mean, our highs yesterday were in the upper 80s. So things are going to be much, much warmer today with those winds out of the west-southwest, about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Here we go where you live. 84 degrees, the Woodlands, 88 in Katy, 86 Missouri City to LaPorte, 84 degrees in Texas City, as well as on Galveston Island. So let's plan the rest of your day. Maybe you have plans to get outside in Conroe. It's a Friday, sit out on the porch. I know there's so many good restaurants you can go to. 93 degrees though by 5, so it is going to be warm. Katy, similar story, but maybe a few more clouds than we'd be seeing in other spots. Along the coast though, likely going to be peaking in the upper 80s, Galveston to Jamaica Beach, down to Surfside Beach, but further inland, that's where we're going to be getting much warmer highs. And I will say, the further north and west you go outside of Houston, likely the warmer it's going to be. And pretty much across the region, I mean, Louisiana is going to be in the 80s, but out toward Midland, almost 100 degrees today, and 102 will be that forecast high in Del Rio. Now, we do have some pretty nice weather, sunny and warm Saturday, Sunday. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, it looks like some of our warmest temperatures that we'll be seeing for the next 7, and that's going to be just above average for this time of year. And honestly, temps are going to stay pretty warm through the extended forecast. So if you will be outside, just make sure that you are staying hydrated. And we do have, besides Gordon, tropical storm that I talked about, we have 2 other areas with the potential for further development. One of them is Invest 94L, and then the other could be bringing some rain to the coastal Carolinas through the weekend. Could be a bit soggy. But here we go. There is Gordon, and you can see it's starting to get its act together. You can't necessarily see, oh, maybe just a little bit of eye forming right there. I mean, very, very small, but something that the National Hurricane Center is watching. So it's likely going to stay, like we had talked about earlier, tropical storm for a day or so before it's going to be running into a lot of that dry air. And here we go. I mean, you can see where the center of the storm is. It's still twisting and turning, but there's that dry air getting wrapped in from both sides. And even if it got out of this area, there's a plume ahead. So it's going to be interesting to see what that dry air actually does to it. And then quickly, this is Invest 94L. So if it did become a named storm, Helen is the next name on the list. Well, hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Friday, warm, quiet weather pattern ahead. So get outside and enjoy it. We'll see you guys next week. Be safe.